Hello everyone, my name is Roger Greatdell, and I have some great news for sports fans. Due to the COVID-19 outbreak, many sports have been canceled, postponed, or left in the air to see when they're going to come back. Now, we all know during these uncertain times that being safe and healthy is what matters most. However, we as sports fans know that we want something to alleviate that void in our life. We want something to cheer for, something to look forward to. Well, to mitigate some of that the COVID-19 pandemic has brought upon us, I, as co-commissioner, have the pleasure and honor to introduce a new sport. May I present to you the Bucket Shot League. So, what is Bucket Shot? Well, to put simply, Bucket Shot is a turn-based kicking game hoping to provide entertainment to all. It's full of fist-pumping moments and nail-biting action.
Every match starts with the team sending out one member to play the entire match. These players are to line up behind their respective pylon lines for the majority of the match. The game starts on the referee's whistle when both teams are confirmed ready to play. The basic objective is to kick the ball in between your opponent's pylons. The official length of the field is 70 feet, from one team's bucket to the opposing team's bucket, while official pylon distance is 8 feet apart.
Since matches are turn-based, only one official bucket shot ball is needed. However, in the event of a penalty, a different bucket shot ball, the penalty ball, is recommended. Well, now that you know the basics, let's get into the scoring system, shall we?
Bucket shot matches are played up to 10 points with no time limit. What makes bucket shot such an intense sport is that the score can flip in the blink of an eye, or the kick of a ball. Now, let's go over the 3 different types of scoring plays that exist in the Bucket Shot League.
The most common scoring play is when a player's kick reaches or passes through the opponent's pylon line. Now, as long as the ball reaches that line, the play is going to yield 1 point for the kicking team. The next play is when a player's kick hits any part of the bucket without the ball going into the bucket. This is known as a bucket hit and is worth 3 points. To save the best for last, Bucket Shot's most intense scoring play is known as a bucket shot. When a kicking team's shot goes into the bucket, regardless if the ball bounces out, 5 points is awarded to the kicking team. Bucket shots are the best possible result for any kick, and the fans cannot get enough of them.
A team is declared the winner when they reach 10 or more points. Although, no team is out of the match with Bucket Shot's patented comeback period. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's go over some defense, huh?
Bucket Shot is an offense-dominated game, but teams that fail at executing proper defense may end up losing the match. Defense is fairly simple. Since players cannot go past their own pylon line during a kick, a player is only allowed to block a shot after it has reached his or her own pylon line. You may be thinking, well, if the ball is already past the line, what point is there in defending it?
Great question. And the answer is to prevent a bucket hit or bucket shot. Consider the following.
Say an opponent's kick hits the pylon and then ricochets to hit the bucket. While the ball did not make contact with the bucket first, the opposing team would still be allotted 3 points for getting a hit on the bucket.
As mentioned, if a player stops the ball before it reaches the pylon line or the bucket, a penalty flag is going to be thrown. Now, like all professional sports, penalties are designed to keep the game fair and exciting for the fans. Let's check out the penalties section. Our referees are professionally trained to know all aspects of bucket shot. They would never miss a blatant or obvious call, especially in playoff scenarios. The following situations are where referees are trained to throw penalty flags.
Offensive penalties. A penalty is committed by the offense if the individual kicks the ball and the ball does not reach or go past the opponent's pylon line. Kicks the ball and the ball contacts the side fence or parallel building without scoring a point. Kicks the ball that leaves the field of play without yielding a point. This is known as a critical miss. The result is the kicking team loses 1 point and the opponent gets a penalty shot. Performs egregious, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defensive penalties. A penalty is committed by the defense if the individual makes contact with an opponent's kick before it reaches or passes his or her own pylon line, makes contact with his or her own bucket, performs egregious, unsportsmanlike conduct. Other miscellaneous penalties. A penalty is committed by either player who is not behind his or her own pylon line when the opponent makes contact for their kick. Additionally, a penalty is committed when the kicking team takes a shot past his or her own pylon line, not including penalty kicks.
This spot represents the penalty kick line. If a player chooses to accept a penalty, this is where they're going to kick from. Now this is a prime opportunity for teams to earn big points, as penalty kicks count as just as many points as regular kicks. The comeback period starts when a team scores 10 or more points. Now this then forces the comeback period on the other team. Should the opposing team be down by 1 point, all they need is to kick it in between their opponent's pylons to tie it up. But if that team were down by 2 or more points, they need a bucket hit to stay alive. The game ends when the comeback team fails to come back, or the game goes further into sudden death overtime. Sudden death overtime occurs when the comeback period team either ties or surpasses the score of the other team. The match is deemed over when one of the teams fails to come back against the other. It's important to note that all comeback period rules apply. Here at the Bucket Shot League, our construction crew is working hard to give the best possible experience for the fans. We spare no expense, as we're building top-tier clubhouses for our teams and box seats for our fans. During these uncertain times, we understand that we can't have fans at the stadiums. However, this does not prevent the fans from showing their spirit, as we've hooked up microphones at fan vicinities.
Now that you know the ins and outs of the Bucket Shot League, it's my pleasure to introduce to you our 3 inaugural teams that we have for the season. The following are team statements made by the captains, hoping to give you guidance on what team you're going to align with.
We are a noble and fine club that prides itself on flashy aerial attacks. Fans of our vintage team expect gourmet play.
We know that we are never out of a game and can strike at any time. The fans of our team expect big points, and we deliver.
We are a proud club that uses a combination of ground and aerial attacks. Our never give up mentality reflects our determined fan base.
Full game matches can be found right on our Founders YouTube page, while game recaps will be found on our Founders TikTok account. Links for both in the description below. Now, in addition to matches, we're also going to be having press conferences so fans can get the inside scoop on players, coaches, and team owners. I would like to personally thank you for taking your first step into the Bucket Shot fan base, and we hope that our presentations will provide you with much entertainment during these uncertain times. This is the Kokamish wishing everyone to be happy, healthy, and ready for Bucket Shot.